Hello, welcome to my Crep Protect test video. I'm going to be testing this product, which I've looked at a lot of videos, and actually I've done one previous video, as you'll see, but the problem I had with a lot of the test videos is that they don't, basically, people will just take one shoe, spray it, protect it, and then like pour a bit of ketchup on it, pour a bit of water on it, and sort of go, yeah, it's amazing, it works. And I'm guilty of the same thing. If you look at my previous video, I did the same thing. But most of those videos don't show you three things. They don't show you a comparison between a protected shoe and an unprotected shoe. They don't show you what happens if you try and rub in the ketchup. They just pour it on and then wipe it off. There's no actual attempt to kind of get it into the fabric a little bit. And also they don't show you what the protection is like at the end of the day. If you've been wearing a pair of shoes around all day, you know, they just show you a freshly sprayed pair. So obviously, in order to do some of those tests, you have to ruin a shoe by showing what an untreated shoe, you know, what happens to an untreated shoe when you put ketchup on it. So I've just bought a very cheap pair of, you know, like Midsole type things. I have actually, they do have one small mark on the heel here on the right shoe. I'm going to treat this right shoe with Crep Protect. I'm going to leave the left shoe untreated, and we're going to sort of do a comparison between two using ketchup, soy sauce, mud, and just plain water, not in that order though. And then I'm going to go out, wear them all day, and see what the protection's like at the end of the day as well. Okay, so I've got my patented Crep Protect spraying stand here, high-tech stuff, and I'm going to do the first coat. I've seen various things about how many coats you should do. Some, you know, the instructions on the tin don't mention doing 2 coats, but then their website does. I'm going to do a coat, leave it for about half an hour. The tin says 10 minutes, I'm going to leave it half an hour. Then do another coat, so that I've done 2, just so it's got the kind of maximum protection possible. Now, I'm only really going to be attempting to stain the front of the shoe. I'm not going to do too much at the back, so I'm just going to do a fairly quick spray there because this stuff's expensive. So I think that's okay. That's the first coat done. I'm going to leave that half an hour and then we'll do coat 2. Okay, it's time for coat number 2, and similar to coat number 1, I'm just going to concentrate mostly on the front. Let's just get the midsole. Okay, and then we're going to leave that a bit longer again. So I've got my right shoe, which has been treated with Crep Protect, and I've got my left shoe, which has no treatment on it at all. I've got a bottle of plain water, which has got a little hole in the middle, so I can do that. I've got soy sauce for something liquidy that stains. I've got ketchup for something thick that stains. And I've got some mud that I've just got from the garden and mixed with water. First thing to try then, I guess, is water. So for the plain water, obviously this being a plain grey shoe, we should hopefully see it go darker when water comes into contact. Do you know what? That's actually surprisingly resistant. This is the untreated shoe, this is the left shoe. I mean, you can see the water sticks to it though, it's not running off, but it is beading up, which actually I wasn't expecting. And you're not getting the dark spots I was expecting either. Just do a bit more there. Yeah. So anyway, that's water. This is the shoe that's been sprayed with Crep Protect. I mean, that just doesn't even stick to it. You can see there's no droplets on there, it's just running straight off, which is pretty much what you'd expect. So this one, maybe it will start going dark. You can see we've got a little dark spot there. Let's do the same bit on this same bit on this shoe, with that little seam there. I mean, that the water's just coming straight off, it's not even sticking to it, so that's good. Right, next up, a bit of soy sauce. Now this stuff runs out pretty fast, so let's do it over here. Okay, You can see that that has stuck to the material, but again it is beading up. If I was to spray a bit of water on there, actually, I'll tell you what, this untreated shoe is holding up surprisingly well, because there's not really any stains on there from the soy sauce, I have to say. More on the midsole. Let's try again. Alright, let's try rubbing it in now. Okay, and now try washing it off. Well, at this stage I have to say that's not what I was expecting. So the soy sauce hasn't stained the shoe there, which is surprising. So at this stage Crep Protect can't really make it worse, I wouldn't think. That's soy sauce. I mean, yeah, you can see it, just it's beading up and it's running off, as you'd expect. Let's try rubbing it in. There's a little bit left there to rub in. Okay. Yeah, it just washes straight off. Ketchup. So, untreated shoe. A little bit of ketchup. There we go. I'm sure this will just probably wash off. Yeah. Well, it's hard to tell if it's dark spots from the water or the ketchup, but that's washed off there. Now let's try rubbing it in. Okay. So that's got a dark spot from being rubbed in. I have to wait till the shoes are dry, I guess, to see whether that's actually stained or not. Try it on the Crep Protect shoe. Right, first of all, just a splodge. That washes straight off, as expected. Now we'll try rubbing it in. Oh, there's a bit more than I was hoping for. But okay. So that's rubbed in. Still seeing a dark spot. And in fact I can still see redness from the ketchup there. I'm wondering if the Crep Protected shoe is actually worse than the other one. I mean, that would be weird, but... Right, let's try a bit of mud on the midsole first. Right, mud. And I'm rubbing it in with the stick here. Right, let's give that a go. Oh, that's just come straight off. I mean, this is a smooth midsole rather than a textured one, so that probably does help. But still, I'm quite surprised by that. So that's again the untreated shoe. Now the one with Crep Protect. Let's grab a bit of mud. Come on, mud. Okay, again rubbing it in with the stick. Try and get it in the grooves a bit as well. Because although it's not textured, these grooves are different, like profiles or whatever you'd call it, I guess. So hopefully the mud will get caught in the grooves. Yeah, it just comes straight off. Well, there you go. Actually, both shoes have performed fairly similar, which I wasn't really expecting. Right, I'm about to start walking in these. As you can see, that's still a little bit wet. That's clearly, this is the Crep Protected shoe. This clearly does have a ketchup stain on it. So already it's performed not as we'd expect, but there we go. So I've been out walking about an hour. I've done just over 3 miles, which is about 5 kilometers. I don't know how many steps that is because the app doesn't tell me, but yeah, these shoes aren't the best to walk in, to be fair. They've got no cushioning at all, so my calves were hurting within about 10 minutes. But anyway, hopefully that's broadly representative of a day of wearing them. So let's see how the Crep Protected one holds up now. I'm back from the walk. The shoes are fully dried out now. I don't know if you can see, but you've got ketchup stains on both, so obviously it's nothing to do with the whether it's treated or untreated. It's just you know, rubbing the ketchup in clearly does make it stain. Got the right shoe. Let's test it with a bit of water. Alright, so this is interesting. You can see it, well, it's not quite, I mean, clearly the bit where I rubbed the ketchup in, I must have rubbed the coating off. And I wasn't rubbing particularly hard, I was rubbing just, you know, to smear it really. But that small motion, just rubbing it like that, has removed the Crep Protect on that bit where the ketchup was, because that bit's gone dark straight away. The rest of the shoe, it does look like the coating is still there, it's running off. But it's kind of, it is clinging a bit more than it looked like it was before. You can see it soaking in here. Let's try it on a bit that we didn't stain with anything. Yeah, we're getting a dark spot there, and I didn't stain this part of the shoe, I don't think. So let's try now with soy sauce. Okay, a bit of soy sauce going on. Right, well obviously that's staining the bit that was stained before. We already know that the coating's come off there. Although interestingly, similar to the untreated shoe actually, it's just washed straight off. I mean, I guess I should try the rubbing in thing again, shouldn't I? Let's try that and rub that in. Yeah, washes off again. I guess the thickness of whatever you use does make a difference. Let's try ketchup on this bit of the shoe. Okay. Alright, let's try it. I won't rub it in first. Wash it straight off, although we are getting a dark patch. And now right, so again, I'm going to rub it in. I'm not using any real pressure. All I'm doing here is just spreading it and smearing it with my finger. It's not, you know, this isn't an exercise in trying to rub it in as hard as I can. Yeah, I mean that's clearly gone red. That's going to stain as well, I think. And then lastly, let's try the old mud on the midsole again. And again, I'm not using any pressure, I'm just using the stick to spread it really. I mean, if I was using pressure, I think you'd probably hear it more than see it. Okay. Yeah, I mean that just washes straight off again. I think the fact that this is a smooth midsole does help, to be fair, because it did this on both shoes, so can't really say it's down to the Crep Protect. At this point, it's pretty obvious that the test hasn't really gone the way I was expecting it to. I mean, here's the final pair. This one's still wet from testing after the walk, but I mean, you can see that the Crep Protect hasn't been a perfect coating by any means. Let's start with the positives. So the bits of the Crep Protected shoe that still had the coating on after smearing the ketchup seemed to still be more waterproof after the walk, I guess. So that's good, but I mean the unprotected shoe held up a lot better than I expected. There wasn't really that much difference between them. Yeah, you could see the water was beading up off of this one and rolling off, but I mean, really that didn't seem to make much difference when it came to actually staining it with stuff. Neither of them really took the soy sauce. Both of them took the ketchup. The mud washed off of both insoles without any issue at all. Going for a walk didn't seem to make much difference. So, I mean, at this stage, I think probably have to say that Crep Protect isn't like the miracle product perhaps I thought it was in my previous video. Your first line of defense is always going to be not getting stuff on your sneakers, not scuffing them, not walking into curbs and sliding them up against steps as you go upstairs, and all the other stuff that scuffs and puts marks on trainers. You still need to worry about that. Crep Protect doesn't really seem to help when you rub stuff in if you do happen to spill ketchup on them. So what I want to do now, I've seen a video on YouTube from a competing company called Stay Fly, Stay Dry, who make a product called Shoe Juice, which they took a pair of shoes very similar to these. They were white instead of grey, and dumped a load of mud on them, and they did do a comparison between a treated and untreated shoe, and that did seem to make a difference. So I think I'm going to order some of that, try and do another test. That product claims to last 3 to 6 months rather than the 2 weeks that Crep Protect claims. So see if that's any different. But for now, for this Crep Protect test, I have to say I'm a little disappointed. I thought it was going to perform better than that. It seems to be fine when it's freshly sprayed onto a shoe, if you don't rub anything in. But if you rub it in, or if it's not freshly sprayed on, it seems to perform worse than I was hoping for, I guess. I hope this video has been helpful. Cheers.